Welcome to Becoming a Lennections Expert Part 2 for teachers. Today we will discuss what to do during the Assesslet testing window with the focus on assigning and monitoring Assesslets. In video 1, we discussed how to log into your account, confirm rosters, and view the Assesslet and resource guide. Today we will discuss setting student accommodations, assigning Assesslets to classes or individuals, scheduling access, security features, live responses, and the administration analysis report. Let's start by setting student accommodations. Accommodations are set by each teacher for students they are testing. Click Students from the left-hand menu or by clicking Students on the home page. Click on the desired student's underlined name. This will open the student's detail card in the right panel. Accommodations and modifications include Read Aloud, High Contrast, and Calculator. The Read Aloud drop-down menu allows you to select accommodations which read aloud the question only, or for the option that reads the passages and the questions. Here is an example of a student who has the Read Aloud and High Contrast features turned on. Students will be able to click on the icon speaker to hear the questions read aloud, the play button for the passages read aloud, and the high contrast button to turn on and off high contrast text. There are several places in the platform you will notice information icons. Click on those icons for additional information. And remember, the live chat team is only a click away. We are now ready to assign Assesslets. In the left menu, you will see the header Assesslet Activities. Click on the correct subject area in this section of the menu. Here you will see the title and testing window dates of the Assesslet. If you do not see an Assesslet title, please talk to your administrator. Click on the green Assign This Activity tab. This will show you all of your classes. You have the option to assign this activity to an entire class or to individual students. For example, I can assign this to my 4th period class by clicking All Students. Here you'll see 25 of 25 students were assigned this Assesslet. If there's a student who you do not want to take the Assesslet, simply click the Remove button. If you'd like to remove this assignment from all students, click Remove to the right of the class title. You can also assign this to selected students. Click the Selected Students button and assign to just the desired students. The platform will not allow you to double assign activities. This pop-up is letting me know that these two students have been assigned this Assesslet in a different class. I have the option of transferring the assignment to a newly selected class or to close the pop-up and keep the previous assignment. Student results and reports are linked to the assigned teacher and class. Student data cannot be moved after student testing is complete. It is very important to monitor your students during your testing window. There are several easy ways to do this. One is to go to the home page and click on Status to the left of the Assesslet title. In the top right corner, you will quickly see the status, which includes the number of students in each stage of testing. You will also be able to view each class and students who have been assigned the Assesslet. Scroll down to view all classes and students who have been assigned this Assesslet. It's also very helpful to understand the status options. Assesslet status options are Ready, Scheduled Active, In Progress, Pending, Waiting to be Scored, or Complete. Ready or Scheduled Active students have not yet started the Assesslet. They can log in and begin testing. Students who are in progress have started their Assesslet. They're either currently working on the Assesslet or they've clicked the Save for Later button. These students can continue working on their Assesslet. These Assesslets have not yet been submitted for scoring. After students hit the Finish button, they're prompted to hit the finish button a second time, and then their assesslet goes into the pending status. This is a 24-hour hold. During this time, students cannot log into their assesslet, but teachers can continue responses to allow students access. Waiting to be scored takes place after the 24-hour hold is over. Students that have a waiting to be scored status cannot re-enter their assesslets. Students who have scored assesslets will have the complete status. Click on the blue responses button to the right of a student's name to view their response card. Here I see this student, Brian, has pending status. When I view Brian's response card, I see that Brian has already submitted this assesslet for scoring, but has not yet completed number 5. I'm going to go ahead and continue this assesslet for Brian by clicking the Continue Responses button. This changes Brian's status back to in progress. He can log in and continue testing. The live response feature is a great way to monitor students during testing. To access live responses, click on Live Responses from the left-hand menu, or click on the Status button. In the top right corner, you'll see the Live Responses button. This will show you all of your students' responses as they are testing. Here I notice in my second period class, 3 students have begun testing. Brian is in progress. Caden is pending, but yet has not completed items 4 and 5. I'm going to go ahead and click on Caden's name and continue the response card. Now Caden can log back in and continue testing. Now that you know how to assign assesslets to classes or individual students, how to monitor assesslets, and continue student responses, let's take a look at some of the security features we have in the assesslet. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Home button and click on the underlined title of the assesslet. This now opens the details of our assesslet. Remember, this is how you can preview the student's view. You can view the documents, which is the administration and resource guide. But I want you to notice the status. Here it's active. That means as soon as you assign it to your students, they can log in and see it. If you're not ready for them to see it, click inactive. This is like an on-off switch. Remember, if you set the status to inactive, students will not see the assignment. When the students enter the classroom, you can go ahead and turn it back on to active. You can also schedule when students will see the assesslet. By clicking the Schedule button, I have an option to set a beginning and ending date. I can also set a beginning and ending time. This would set access for all students who were assigned the assesslet. In just a second, I'm going to show you an override feature we have if you'd like to set a schedule for specific classes. First, I want to show you a few security features we have. They're right here in the details of the assesslet. Hide student reports, hide student score, and enable secure responder. If you go ahead and click on the information icon, you can learn more about these features, including help guides. If these features are already checked, that means your administrator has turned on these features and teachers cannot turn them off. Before using any of our security features, please make sure you read about them and access the guide. I would suggest turning on the hide student reports and hide student score while testing, and then make sure to turn it off when you're done testing so students can access their results and reports. Now I'd like to show you the override feature where you can schedule access for each class. I'm going to go ahead and scroll on down past the assesslet details until I see the classes that have been assigned. Here's my 4th period class. It's scheduled to have access from the starting date to the end date, but I'm going to override this so that I can choose the exact times I want this class to be able to have access. I want this class to be able to have access from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Once I click save, the only time this class will have access is for these dates and during this time range. When you're setting this, please make sure you're looking at the AM and PM. If you set the access incorrectly, it can cause a lot of frustration for you and your students. You can continue to scroll down to your next class and override to set the exact times and dates you'd like for this class. Make sure to hit save after scheduling access for each class. And the last thing I want to show you is the Administration Analysis Report. Come right over here to Reports from the left-hand menu. Click on Reports. This is going to open up your report dashboard. Here I can see I have one Assesslet assigned. You can run reports at the teacher level or at individual class levels. For this, I'm going to encourage you to just go ahead and run it at the teacher level so you can see all of your classes. Click on this report icon and we're going to look at the Administration Analysis Report. This is the only report you need to look at during testing. All of the other reports we'll look at after testing. I'm going to run that report. This report quickly shows me the status of all of my students as they're testing. I can see that overall I have 25 students who are testing right now. It breaks it up by each class and also the status of each student. For example, in my second period class, I have one student that is currently pending. I'm going to go ahead and click on that underlined one so I can see who this student is. Marcia has currently submitted her Assesslet for scoring. I'm going to go ahead and take a peek at it by clicking on responses. And I notice even though she's hit the finish button, she hasn't finished number 4 and 5. So I'm going to go ahead and continue that response card so she can log in and continue testing. Now I see that she's moved back to the in progress status. Whether you're clicking on the Administration Analysis Report, live responses, or are going to the home page to check the status of your students, it's important to know where your students are during testing. Please remember, all students must complete testing by the end of the day on your last day of the testing window. And if you think you're going to need more time, please talk to your administrator before the testing window closes. If you have questions, just hit that live chat icon. Our support team is always happy to help. Results and reports will be available 6 days after your testing window closes or sooner. Please watch the third teacher video to learn more about results and reports.